there we go. Surprised that doesn't do that. Okay. So you can see that I don't have my rounded corners and I don't have a black line. Why is this? Anybody know?
Because you didn't hook up the class on this.
Exactly, because I didn't hook up the class. Okay, so if I go back to my storyboard here, this is still a plain UI view. You see? UI view. So I need to change this to be a playing card view. Now when I run, the system knows that's a playing card view and I get a nice rounded Rex. Okay? See my corners cut off there? It's all good, and there is a little black line around there. It's hard to see, but it's there. Okay? All right, so we're off and running here. The next thing I'm going to do is draw the corners. You know, like where it says ace of clubs, and it's in the corner is an ace, and then underneath is a club, and then down in the other corner is upside down ace, and then clubs above it. You know what I'm talking about in a playing card? So we're going to draw that. I'm going to do that by saying, again, let's make more space here. I'm going to say self draw corners. Do this in a different method. I draw corners. Okay. So to do this, I'm going to use NS attributed string. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the string that I'm going to put in that upper corner be ace, carriage return, clubs. Okay. So I'm just going to put that in the upper left corner. Bingo. That's all I need. But there's two things I need to set in my attributed string. One is the font, and I'm going to use a preferred font. And number two is I need the paragraph style to be centered. I want those two things, the ace and the clubs, to be centered on top of each other. I don't want them to be left aligned. That's going to look weird, especially like a 10 of clubs would look really funny. I want them to center up. So we didn't really talk about how to set that kind of paragraph level alignment and stuff in a attributed string. So here's a chance to show you. So to do that, we use this class called paragraph style. Okay, paragraph style specifies things like the alignment of a paragraph. So I'm going to create a mutable one that I can set things in. And I do that with NS mutable paragraph style, alloc init. And then I'm going to set the paragraph style's alignment to be NS text alignment centered. So that just means centered. And then I'm going to set this as an attribute on my attributed string. The other attribute I need is the font, so I'm going to say a corner font here, and whoops, font, and I need, of course, to use a preferred font. And you know, there's some arguments here. What would be the best UI? The best style here? You know, maybe headline, maybe even subheadline, but I'm going to try body. And we'll see how it looks, and if I don't like it, I could go change it to something else. But there's something really important to notice about this font. It's going to come in a certain size, whatever the size the user wants. Old people like me want big ones so I can see, and younger people like you probably want the smaller ones. But we still need to scale it from there. So we want to use that information, but then we want to scale it, again, depending on how big our card is. Big cards want big font, little cards want little fonts. Okay? So we're going to scale it just by creating a new font here. And we're going to do that. Make sure I do this the way that I predefined it here. So I'm going to do this by saying corner font, font with size. So this is a method in font, an instance method in font that says create me a new font that's just like the font I'm sending this to, but with a different size. And the size I'm going to use is corner font's current size. Point size is the method, is the property in a font that tells you what its current point size is, times that corner scale factor that I used earlier up here to do this corner radius, okay? So this is this corner scale factor. I'm using the same factor here. And again, we'll see if that turns out to be right. If not, we can always change it. So now let's go ahead and create this attributed string. I'm going to call this the corner text. And it's just an NS attributed string, alloc init with string. The string I'm going to create is NS string, string with format. As I promised, %@, carriage return, %@. Okay. The first thing is the rank. So I need self rank as string because my rank is a number and I need it as a string. So I'm going to go up here and really, oop, look at that, rank as string. So same thing we did before, a little array with that in there, self-rank. I don't do any bounds checking and stuff. This demo is light on bounds checking. You know, good code would protect yourself a little better. And then here is the suit, okay? Suit. All right, so make sure I have my square brackets right here. Self-suit, no. And there we go. So there's the string, and then with the attributes we're going to set here is a dictionary, and I need to set the font. Font attribute, what's it called again? Font attribute, NS font attribute name. And that's the corner font that I write right there. And then I need NS paragraph style attribute, which is a new one you haven't seen before. And we'll call that paragraph style. Okay, close curly brace. Oops. Thank you. Maintain that. Okay. Semicolon. Are we good there? I think we got it. Okay, so there's the corner text, which is just this carriage return thing centered with the hopefully a good size font. And now I'm going to get the bounds of that. Okay, I'm going to get the bounds, I'm going to put that in. And there's two things to the bounds. One is the point, the upper left-hand point of it. And I could just make that be, actually I don't even need a local variable. Let's just go straight to bounds.origin. So I could make that be 0, 0, actually, but then my little A return clubs might kind of bang into my rounded rect a little. So I want to move it in a little bit, but again, it depends on how big the rounded rect is to how much I want to move it in. So let's say CG point make, how about self corner offset, and corner offset is another little method I put up here that's also related to this corner radius. You see, I took the corner radius, divided by 3. It looks like that's probably about right. Again, these are numbers you would want to play with when you're designing your UI. These numbers seem to work pretty good. And then the size of this rectangle, I actually need to ask the attributed string to tell me corner text size. You know, how big is that A return club's going to be? Because I don't know, right? The attributed string can tell me, though. So now I have a rectangle that I'm going to draw the A return clubs in, and it's going to be centered horizontally on it. And all I need to do is tell it to draw, oops, corner text, draw in rect, text bounds. Okay, so now it's drawing in that rect, so it's going to be doing the text alignment inside that rectangle. Okay, so that's it. So let's hope this works. And it doesn't work. Now why does this not work? Well, because we haven't set any card. This playing card view is not displaying any particular card. So we need to go back to our view controller and set that card to something. And a great place to do that, for testing right now anyway, is in view.did_load. So we're just going to pick a particular one. We also need to make an outlet to our card here so we can talk to it. So we're going to start here. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to control drag to create an outlet. I'm going to call it playing card view. Okay, so here's an outlet, so you can see what this is about. Okay, this is just an outlet, IB outlet. It's a playing card view, so we need to import playing card view. All right, so that works, that's good. We have our playing card view, so I'm just going to set my playing card, oops, self.playing card view. I'm going to set its suit to be hearts, and then I'm going to set its rank to be king. Okay, that's my favorite card, it's king of hearts. So let's set this to hearts. Oops. Special characters. There's a heart. Oop, missed it. Characters. Here's a heart. Did I get it that time? Yeah. Okay, so there's the king of hearts. So we're going to do that. So now we run. And we should hopefully get the king of hearts. There it is. And the sizes look pretty good there. Okay. Now, if I were debugging this, in fact, let's just do it. Let's make this card really small. See what happens. Let's try this. And that looked good too. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then I would also want to go to settings and set the fonts bigger and smaller and make sure that still works. But, you know, so far, I'm pretty darn happy with it. Now, of course, I checked this before I came today, and I should totally do this on the fly. So there we go. Now, what do we need to do next? Well, now we need to put that king of hearts in the other corner, upside down. Okay, now you might think, oh, great, upside down. Well, how are we going to do this? Turns out to be very, very easy to rotate what you draw in core graphics. So we're just going to do that. We're just going to do exactly what we just did, but rotate it upside down. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to do the same thing, this draw and rect. Okay? But before I do it, inside here, I'm going to rotate it upside down. First, I'm going to move down to that corner. Then I'm going to rotate upside down. So how do we move over to a corner? Well, let's use one of these CG functions that I told you needed the context for. So let's get a context, ref, context equals UI graphics, get current context. I told you that's how you get the current context. Now that I have it, I can use CG translate, what's it called? Anybody remember? Translate something, context translate or something. There we go. Translate CTM. CTM is our transformation matrix. Okay, so we're just going to translate, which means move it. So I'm going to move it down to self.bounce.width and self.bounce.height. Okay, move down to the corner there. Oops, did I type something wrong? Size, oops, size. Size, okay? Self.bounce.size.width, self.bounce.size.height. So I'm moving down to the bottom corner there. Remember, our origin is in the upper left. And now let's rotate. There's a rotate CTM, context. And this is radians. So I'm going to go halfway around, in other words, upside down, which is m underbar pi. Pi radians is halfway around a circle. I want it to be upside down, directly upside down, 180 degrees from where it was before. And that's it. Okay? So I've translated and rotated what I'm going to draw, and then I'm just going to draw the exact same thing again. Bingo. Okay? So some stuff is really, really easy to do in core graphics. Okay? Rotating, translating things, super, super easy. All right? So we're good there. Okay, the next thing we want to do is draw the face of the card. Okay, that King of Hearts face. Now, the face of the card is one of two ways. Either it's a face card, like the King, or it's just the pips, right? Little, like 4 of hearts is 4 little hearts in there. Okay, so we have to do both ways. So let's do the face card one first. Okay, so I'm going to do that up here, back in DrawRect. So I'm in DrawRect. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to kind of have a design here where if I can find an image that has the name of the card, I'll use it. Otherwise, I'll try and draw pips. Otherwise, I'll draw nothing. Okay? So it's kind of a fairly safe way to go about it. If I can't find the face card image, then it'll just be, I'll still have the corners, but I won't have any drawing. So how am I going to do that? I'm just going to look up the image. I'm going to say UI image. Let's make more space again. UI image, face image, and I'm going to say UI image, I can use factor image, image named, and I'm going to make a string of format, and it's going to have the rank and the suit, okay? Self, rank as string, self, suit, okay? So there's the image name. So I'm going to look that image up, so that would be like J spades, right? 10 hearts. It's not going to find 10 hearts. There's not going to be a sort of thing, but there will be K clubs, right? It'll find those. So if it finds the face image, then I'm going to display it in the middle. Otherwise, I need to draw the pips, basically, because it's not a face card. And so let's put a little draw pips here. Okay, we'll do that later. So the face image, how do I do this? Well, really, I just need to tell UI image, draw this in the middle of my card. But I want to move it in from the edges a little bit, right? Because I don't want whatever the face image is, like a king, to smash my corners. Okay, my little King of Hearts. So I want to move it in a little bit. So I'm going to create a rectangle to scale my image into, image rect. And it's going to basically be my bounds, except for I'm going to use this CG rect inset method here to inset it.